Hey everyone, Flannel here. This is episode 11 of my No Skin to Pro Scrim series. This series is designed to be short, sweet, and educational, so let's get right into it. Episode 11, How to Build Offensively. The first thing to understand when it comes to offensive building is material strength and build time. Wood walls take 4 seconds to reach full health, have an initial health of 90, and a maximum health of 150. Brick takes 11.5 seconds to reach full health, has an initial health of 99, and has a maximum health of 300. Metal takes 25 seconds to reach full health, and has an initial health of 110, and has a maximum health of 500. Other types of structures will have slightly different numbers, but they should all follow the same chain of strength. More often than not, you'll be working with wood when it comes to offensive plays, but brick and metal have stronger initial healths, meaning that they will keep you safer from enemy fire while pushing. Because of this, I would highly recommend switching to one of the two types if available when being aggressive. Tip number 1, Ramp Rush. Ramp rushing is the bread and butter of offensive gameplay. Ramp rushing correctly will allow you to gain high ground positioning on your opponent, which will allow you to control fights more effectively. There are 4 common types of ramp rushes in Fortnite. We have the single ramp rush, which consists of just placing stairs under yourself to approach your opponent. This type of push is meant for resource conservation, so only use it in safe situations where you're confident you won't get shot down. For example, you can use this ramp rush when the enemy has their back towards you. Or you can use it when connected to a structure or mountain so that even if you are shot down, you can replace the stair. Next up, we have the ramp wall rush, which consists of alternating between stairs and walls in a straight line to better protect your push. Use this in the same situation as you would the previous push, except with the added bonus that you can feel a little safer doing this against an opponent who you expect to fire back at you. Since this type of push looks kinda frail compared to other types of pushes, many enemies will immediately try to shoot you down. Because of the added layer of protection, you can counter this type of play by simply peeking over the side of your ramp, like so, to apply pressure. If any shots land, you can expect them to start playing defensively, or better yet, just die. Our third push is the double ramp wall push, which consists of 2 stairs side by side and walls reinforcing them. Many players have difficulty carrying out this type of push because they end up placing walls in front of their stairs, effectively blocking themselves off. Here is a slow-mo of this push being carried out correctly. Take note of the circular motion of my crosshair, my character's positioning on the ramp, and when I place the walls. Timing is everything when it comes to not misplacing a piece of this push, so it's important to get every little detail right to be able to do this in combat correctly. Use this type of push when approaching multiple enemies, or if you plan on building high enough to take fall damage. At the end of the day, this should be your go-to push to maximize safety without burning a lot of mats. Speaking of burning a lot of mats, we have the double ramp wall floor push. Here's a slow-mo of me doing it correctly so that you can practice it in Playground. I like to do this push in counterclockwise rotations where I place stairs first, floor second, and walls last. Make sure to observe when I place my structures, my crosshair placement, and speed of movement to master this technique. Use this type of push when you have abundant resources and are facing multiple enemies. This is a huge material burner, so only use this if you genuinely need to keep yourself as safe as possible during an encounter. Tip number 2, Tfue Classic. This technique is absolutely perfect for players who do not build against you or players you have successfully ramp rushed over. You can do this by establishing high ground on an opponent, shooting over your opponent with a shotgun, placing a floor underneath yourself right after, and then repeating this until they are dead. This ensures you are only exposed for the time it takes to take the shot. This is such an effective play because you will always have a high chance of hitting their head. Meanwhile, your enemy will always have a high chance of hitting your feet. Tip number 3, play safe against opponents with a distance high ground advantage. An offensive player is always going to run into one of the 2 mentioned players. Against a player who is shooting at you from a distance, I recommend placing stairs to the left and right while running towards them to ensure no damage taken while closing the gap. Against a player with height advantage, like let's say a mountain, I'd recommend running and putting floors over your head until you reach the mountain. Once you reach the mountain, you should vertically double ramp to ensure no damage taken while approaching your enemy. This play is very risky because you run out of materials very quickly, but you can avoid that problem by positioning yourself to break line of sight during your push every now and then to give your materials a break. Tip number 4, start encounters with an advantage. One thing I always like to do is stalk opponents for the right time to strike. Holding back on your impulse to fire immediately will allow you to find optimal positioning against your enemy and will give your opponents more time to make a punishable mistake. You can wait for your opponent to run in a predictable line and then initiate a fight with a sniper shot. You can wait for a group of opponents to gather together and assault them with explosives. Or you can wait for your opponent to heal to catch them with their pants down. Sometimes though, you just might not know exactly what to do to gain an advantage on your enemy. If this is the case, I would just recommend getting close without being detected to land a few shots to start the fight or possibly kill the enemy. This concludes episode 11, How to Build Offensively. If you are comfortable with the tips provided in this video, feel free to move on to the next one, which will focus on how to trap kill effectively. In some channel news, we're closing in on 1,000 subs, and I just want to say thank you all for the support, and I want to give you guys another giveaway, so wait for that video for your chance to win. Also, the Discord is now fully functional, so check that out if you want to talk to me one-on-one, or discuss some tips with other Fortnite players. As always, if you like the series so far, feel free to like or subscribe. See you next video.